I represent the Attorney General, who is not able to attend this occasion, and I proceed to read his speech. Salutations. The Honorable Chief Justice and President of the Supreme Court of Kenya, Mr. Justice K. Maraga, judges of the Supreme Court, and judges of the Court of Appeal present, judges of the High Court present, the Honorable Chief Registrar of the Judiciary, Ms. Anne Amadi, honorable members of the magistracy present, President of the Law Society of Kenya, members of the bar. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to be part of this auspicious occasion, to witness your admission to the bar. I know it has been a journey fraught with joy, laughs, and tears, and of course frustrations once in a while, but ultimately, today we gather here to congratulate and welcome you into this honorable profession. You have taken your oath to uphold the rule of law and administration of justice, and that you will discharge your duties as advocates of the High Court of Kenya without fear or favor. This is a personal responsibility that you have chosen, bestowed upon each one of you, and one that shall remain with you always. Ladies and gentlemen, the legal profession gives you an opportunity to practice in the different fields where you will choose to specialize once you discover your specific passion. This could be in litigation, conveyance, criminal law, corporate law, international law, and even arbitration. However, it is the manner in which you handle that first client who walks into your office for assistance that will determine the ultimate path of your career. I'm honored to be with you today and strongly look forward to receiving many of you at my chambers as State Counsel, where you will have the opportunity of practicing different aspects of law that the private sector today does not offer. While the Office of the Attorney General and Department of Justice may not offer you much in terms of much reward financially, the experience is one that will be the most fulfilling and enriching as you serve the people of this republic. Opportunities abound in the various fields, from civil litigation, succession law, international law, treaties and agreements, government transactions, administrative law, commercial law, legislative drafting, legal aid. The scope for learning and experience is wide at the State Law Office. Ladies and gentlemen, you have been given the power to uphold the rule of law. My challenge to you as you start practicing is how you tackle this matter called graft and impunity. As a chief legal advisor, we must all tackle the vice because it is the right thing to do. Rebuilding a country where honesty reigns is the only way to uphold the rights of all. You are cognizant of the fact that corruption today is the most discussed topic. This is a reflection of the society that we currently live in. What will be your role in this conversation? As you are aware, corruption is the biggest reason for the downfall of many empires and civilizations, and sadly, one that is ailing the country today. As young lawyers, you must aspire to change the perception that society today holds about our legal profession. We must accept that we have been tainted, but we must support the fight against corruption. That is the reality we must be willing to address if, as a country, we are to forge ahead. We must be true to ourselves first, to our country, and to our clients, and most importantly, to the future generations of this beloved country. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my sincere hope that we are sending you out to the society as advocates who understand our legal decorum and who will safeguard the purity of our profession. And wish you Godspeed as you start your careers in law. God bless us all.
Thank you so much.
Honorable Chief Justice, my Lord of the Republic of Kenya, and the President of the Supreme Court of this country, Mr. David Maraga, Honorable Chief Registrar Ann Amadi, Honorable Vice President, the LSK, President, Representative of the Attorney General, Kulu Kariuki, judges present, as well as magistrates who are present, my colleagues, the new advocates, all protocols observed, good morning. My Lord, Honorable Chief Justice, I stand in here for the DPP, the Director of Public Prosecutions, who wanted to be here himself, but due to an engagement that had been scheduled for today, he could not make it. He sent me here to represent him and to read his speech. I will proceed. Permission, my Lord, to read the speech of the DVP. Good morning once again. To the newly sworn advocates here today, I take this opportunity to congratulate you on the admission to the bar. I hope you all feel the pride and happiness surrounding you today. You have earned the success you are enjoying today, and I commend you for it. You are already a source of pride and satisfaction to your respective families. And it is right and befitting that those who have been this year, accompanying you in your academic and professional progress, should savor this moment of your achievement. I take this opportunity to warmly congratulate all the parents, spouses, family, and friends who are present at this ceremony. This function today marks the start of your career in one of the most noble professions, where you are authorized and indeed mandated to skills to ensure that justice is delivered. As I watched you take the oath to uphold the rule of law and the administration of justice, I thought back on my 10 years as an advocate. Being an advocate gives you a special privilege to try to move this world closer towards justice. It also carries a corresponding duty on your part to promote, maintain, and uphold the administration of justice and the dignity of the court. While the arc of morality bends towards justice, it doesn't bend that way on its own. You will be required to grab and hold that arc and not let it go off in the daily discharge of your duties as advocates of the High Court of Kenya. This profession comes with obligations out to the court, the client, the fellow advocates, and the community. To your client, you will be required to offer independent support and assist them to understand appropriate information as well as provide competent representation. You have to defend the interests of your client to the best of your ability. As officers of court, you are required to be honest and fair-minded. To your colleagues, utmost respect and professionalism. To the society, uphold the rule of law and defend the Kenyan Constitution. Under my administration, the office of the DPP held its first 8 years. The purpose was to prepare our new prosecutors to have confidence in the decision making based on our national prosecution policies in applying their legal skills in the execution of all DPP mandate. I emphasize to them that they must carry their actions with respect and promotion of human rights and the rule of law, 2, integrity and ethics. 3, professionalism. 4, and impartiality. And respect. And finally, teamwork. These 2 must be your creed wherever you choose to pursue your career. Corruption in this country has become an evil menace. In dispensation of your duties, you must adopt the highest standards of integrity, due diligence, and professionalism. I wish to quote the words of Albert Einstein, and he said, "The world will not be destroyed by those who do evil, but those who watch without doing anything." End of the quote. As newly admitted advocates, you are obliged to ensure that corruption is not the way of doing business in this country. You must be hands-on against impunity and wanton looting of public resources. In the course of your life and career, you will face weighty situations where fidelity to the law and client interests will be in conflict. You must always remember that the outcome of your decisions will be consequential. In the words of William Faulkner, who is a U.S. writer, he said, and I quote, "Never be afraid to raise your voice for honesty and truth and compassion against injustice, lying, and greed. If people all over the world would do this, it would change the earth." Close the quote. You also have to be bold in defending the rule of law and the discharge of justice. Do not always opt for the safest and easiest route. At the same time, you have to ensure that you are not reckless or irresponsible. Finally, you have been equipped with the requisite skills and knowledge on what to do while in this profession. Now is time to put into practice what has been taught to you. It is imperative that you will take into consideration that our future generations are dependent on you. You are at the threshold of a career. Hopefully, it is going to be long and fruitful. Fame or no or notoriety depends solely on your deeds. I always remember the words of Helen Keller, who was also an author, and she said, and I quote, "As the eagle was killed by the arrow winged with his own feather, so the hand of the world is wounded by its own skills." Thank you so much for the privilege of sharing this today with you, and congratulations once more. Thank you so much for listening.
My name is Harriet Chigai, the Vice President of the Law Society of Kenya. This morning I'm here on behalf of the President, Allen Gishui, and the Council. The Honorable Chief Justice and President of the Supreme Court of Kenya, Justice David Maraga, the Honorable Chief Registrar of the Judiciary, Ms. Anna Madi, the representative from the AG and representative from the DPP, distinguished guests, and new advocates on board, good morning. My Lord, on behalf of the President of the Law Society of Kenya, I must say such is an exciting moment which only requires one sentence well thought out to sum up this speech. But from tradition, my brief speech is a show of appreciation to the young men and women who have worked hard to be now members of the Law Society of Kenya. We gather here today to celebrate a moment of consequence in lives of these finest advocates, all robed and ready for this ceremony. They colorfully surround us this day, are meant to mark this single decisive moment that brings forth new members to the noble profession. Such moment of transition is indeed an occasion to celebrate as well as to reflect what lies ahead. And this is what you have trained to become, and joyously so. Allow me to mention that for every high-profile instance of an advocate behaving less than admirable, there are many untold stories of outstanding advocates giving their all to see the justice and fairness prevail. I urge you strongly to be counted in the latter. I urge you to devote countless hours to pro bono work to make sure that the wrongly accused are not jailed, that innocent lives are not ruined, that the weak are not preyed upon, so that in the end, when your history will be written, you'll be quoted as an advocate who fought freely for fairness, who was intolerant of injustice, who lived and worked with impeachable integrity. You accept new obligations, standards, and principles. You must adhere to them inflexibly. The set of principles and obligations you accept become part of your life forever, whether you remain a practicing lawyer or not. For the rest of your days, you and your actions will be judged in this light, in light of your education and your status as a member of this great profession. What a burden, some may say. Yes, but what an honor to be an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. Going forth, define your own success. Rise to be the mind that out of you the society can emulate and trust. Actualize the ambition cradled in you. Oprah Winfrey is quoted saying, "A mentor is someone who allows you to see the hopes inside yourself. A mentor is someone who allows you to know that no matter how dark the night, in the morning, joy will come. A mentor is someone who allows you to see the higher part of yourself when sometimes it becomes hidden to your own view." LSK, in collaboration with the Senior Counsel, will ensure that you are mentored. This profession is founded on the banner of respect, especially for seniors, as part of the mentorship. Respect for the seniors is at its core. Lastly, I would like to encourage you more by echoing John Stewart and Douglas Vermeuren's words, "College is something you complete, but life is something that you must experience." Don't worry about the struggles you underwent to sit where you are today. Instead, focus in the success by building your own internal sense of decency, and so your opus isn't just what you do, it will be the legacy of what you become. Finally, you're now individuals who recognize that while the arc of the moral universe bends towards justice, it doesn't bend that way on its own. You are the henceforth an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. I therefore congratulate you on your admission, and so urge you to grab hold of that arc and don't let go. I congratulate you on your admission and wish the very best as you embark on what I hope will be a long journey, fulfilling career in law. Welcome on board. I urge you to actively participate in the activity.
The Supreme Court of this country, Mr. David Maraga, Honorable Chief Registrar Ann Amadi, Honorable Vice President, the LSK, President, Representative of the Attorney General, Kulu Kariuki, judges present, as well as magistrates who are present, my colleagues, the new advocates, all protocols observed, good morning. My Lord Honorable Chief Justice, I stand in here for the DPP, the Director of Public Prosecutions, who wanted to be here himself, but due to an engagement that had been scheduled for today, he could not make it. He sent me here to represent him and to read his speech. I will proceed.
Permission, my Lord, to read the speech of the DVP. Good morning once again. To the newly sworn and it's here today, I take this opportunity to congratulate you on the admission to the bar. I hope you all feel the pride and happiness surrounding you today. You have earned the success you are enjoying today, and I commend you for it. You are already a source of pride and satisfaction to your respective families. It is right befitting that those who have been this year, accompanying you in your academic and professional progress, should savor this moment of your achievement. I take this opportunity to warmly congratulate all the parents, spouses, family, and friends who are present at this ceremony. This function today marks the start of your career in one of the most noble professions, where you are authorized and indeed mandated to skills to ensure that justice is delivered. As I watched you take the oath to uphold the rule of law and administration of justice, I thought back on my 12 years as an advocate. Being an advocate gives you a special privilege to try to move this world closer towards justice. It also carries a corresponding duty on your part to promote, maintain, and uphold the administration of justice and the dignity of the court. When the arc of morality bends towards justice, it doesn't bend that way on its own. You will be required to grab and hold that arc and not let it go off in the daily discharge of your duties as advocates of the High Court of Kenya. This profession comes with obligations out of the court, the client, the fellow advocates, and the community. To your client, you will be required to offer independent support and assist them to understand appropriate information as well as provide competent representation. You have to defend the interests of your client to the best of your ability. As officers of court, you are required to be honest and fair-minded. To your colleagues, utmost respect and professionalism. To the society, uphold the rule of law and defend the Kenyan Constitution. Under my administration, the Office of the DPP held its first 8 years. The purpose was to prepare our new prosecutors to have confidence in the decision making based on our national prosecution policies in applying their legal skills in the execution of all DPP mandate. I emphasize to them that they must carry their actions with respect and promotion of human rights and the rule of law. 2. Integrity and ethics. 3. Professionalism. 4. And impartiality and respect. And finally, teamwork. These 2 must be your creed wherever you choose to pursue your career. Corruption in this country has become an evil menace. In dispensation of your duties, you must adopt the highest standards of integrity, due diligence, and professionalism. I wish to quote the words of Albert Einstein, and he said, "The world will not be destroyed by those who do evil, but those who watch without doing anything." End of the quote. As newly admitted advocates, you are obliged to ensure that corruption is not the way of doing business in this country. You must be hands-on against impunity and wanton looting of public resources. In the course of your life and career, you will face weighty situations where fidelity to the law and client interests will be in conflict. You must always remember that the outcome of your decisions will be consequential. In the words of William Faulkner, who is a US writer, he said, and I quote, "Never be afraid to raise your voice for honesty and truth and compassion against injustice, lying, and greed. If people all over the world would do this, it would change the earth." Close the quote. You also have to be bold in defending the rule of law and the discharge of justice. Do not always opt for the safest and easiest route. At the same time, you have to ensure that you are not reckless or irresponsible. Finally, you have been equipped with the requisite skills and knowledge on what to do while in this profession. Now is time to put into practice what has been taught to you. It is imperative that you will take into consideration that our future generations are dependent on you. You are at the threshold of a career. Hopefully, it is going to be long and fruitful. Fame or no or notoriety depends solely on your deeds. I always remember
the words of Ellen Keller, who was also an author, and she said, and I quote, "As the eagle was killed by the arrow winged with his own feather, so the hand of the world is wounded by its own skills." Thank you so much for the privilege of sharing this today with you, and congratulations once more. Thank you so much for listening.
Madam Mukulu, the representative of the Director of Public Prosecutions, Mr. Mtuku, the Vice Chair of the Law Society of Kenya, Madam Chigai, judges present, magistrates, our new advocates, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Mine is to welcome you to the judiciary and to let you know that it's always a joy for us to host our stakeholders in events of this nature. We always try to ensure that we are all seated comfortably, but clearly our numbers keep swelling. And Honorable the Chief Justice was just whispering to me and saying, should we now begin to limit the guests per advocate being admitted? It's something to think about, but we are happy to have all of you here to celebrate our new advocates and to celebrate the hard work that brings us here this morning. I want to take this opportunity also to thank all the parents, the guardians, the benefactors, the friends who supported our new advocates to get to where they are. Can we just celebrate them with a big clap? Thank you. Thank you very much for paying the school fees, for buying the airtime, for providing the fare to Karen for the entire period. We would not be here without them, and we do not take them for granted. Colleagues, you've received excellent advice this morning from the Attorney General, from the DPP, from the Law Society, and they've captured it all. And it's not just those big things that make you an excellent lawyer, it's also those tiny little things. I'm sure you can all recall the last few minutes when we were doing the chamber matter, and the Chief Justice was very particular about how you turn up, about how your tie looks, and that too is important. I noticed when the Chief Justice was calling out the names, somebody was busy on their phone. That's not very polite. So even those little things really contribute towards how you end up in your profession. As far as the judiciary is concerned, I want to tell you that judiciary is an excellent employer for those considering employment in the public service. We are ahead of the pack. Opportunities keep opening up in the area of legal research, in the magistracy cadres. We keep having opportunities, and we'll encourage you to take an interest so that when the time comes, you can come and be part of this great institution. For those who want to go into other areas in public service, in the private sector, in private practice, corporate world, civil society, there are still a lot of opportunities for you to help the judiciary attain its goals. We have a very vibrant mediation program. We urge all of you to join it and help us to resolve matters through mediation. And that's for everybody. You don't have to be an employee of the judiciary to participate in that. We also have opportunities for you to participate in the pro bono pauper briefs. The capital offenders, the children are required to be given legal representation at no cost. There is a small token that is paid by the judiciary, but that too is a way of giving back to society, and that makes you a great lawyer as well. It will help you also in enhancing your litigation experience. So as you start this journey, mine is just to wish you well, and to always remember that your success is not just for you, it is for you and those around you, those that will come to you for help, those that you'll need to reach out to. So don't hoard the privilege that you have that a lot of people do not have. So I wish you well as you start your new journey. May God guide you and be with you. May God bless us all. Thank you very much. And with those few remarks, it is now my singular privilege and honor to invite the Honorable the Chief Justice.
Thank you, Sir Ajay. Before I make my remarks, let us all observe a moment of silence in honor of our people and the other nationals who died in the recent crash in Ethiopia. Commissioner of the Judicial Service Commission, the Chief Registrar of the Judiciary, the Vice President of the Law Society of Kenya, the representatives of the Attorney General and the DPP, parents and the relatives here present, and the young advocates who have just been admitted. Good morning. Good morning. May I also take this opportunity to congratulate you on your admission to the Kenyan Bar as advocates of the High Court of Kenya. Your admission is no doubt a culmination of many years of great effort and sacrifice, and an achievement of which your loved ones, and indeed all of us, are proud of. It must have taken a lot of hard work to get here today. We all know the tremendous effort it takes to complete your studies, go through the Kenya School of Law and pass all the exams, including commercial transactions, which include bookkeeping. Not many advocates are very good in maths. Advocates of the High Court of Kenya. Young people, you have taken your oath today, and that binds you to protect and preserve the rule of law. Please ensure that you become good stewards of justice. People who will ensure that justice is always achieved in everything you do. You have the skills, training, and ability to make a difference. As good stewards of justice, you must strive to make the law work in real world. As Justice Stephen Breyer of the U.S. Supreme Court said, and I quote, "The law should provide real answers to help real people with real problems." End of quote. This is where you have now reached. The theoretical scenarios you have been contending with as law students are no more. It is now time for really legal encounters. Needless to say, there will be very many times when people place their lives or their livelihoods solely on your shoulders, and this means you cannot afford to be slack. It is important for you to appreciate that when I say you are stewards of justice, I mean I'm not asking that you ensure that your clients prevail at all times. Indeed, your first obligation is to ensure that the rule of law prevails. This is why you have become officers of the court. Your foremost responsibility is to ensure that the court reaches a just decision regardless of who is your client. I want to assure you that you have joined a good profession, one that has a long and a dignified people who have served mankind wonder whether and advantage to say this, whether as a newly admitted advocate you can still make any great changes today, whether you can still take a stand as principle, as Mandela's, or whether your submission will ever have the impact of an muscle. I want to tell you here and now that yes, you can. There are many opportunities that you have already been told to make a lasting impact, both within the profession as well as in other aspects of our society's dearest endeavors. Challenge yourself and your colleagues to live up to the professional conduct that the Office of Advocacy calls you to. In a country that is in so dire need of champions of integrity, I hope that no valid complaint will ever be presented against you by your client or anyone else who encounters you in the course of your work. Always remember that the oath you have taken today finds you to serving the law with greater skill and commitment than the pursuit of fame and fortune, attractive as this might be. I know that some advocates do not recall the words of this oath beyond the day of their admission, but you must not fall within that group. On behalf of the Kenyan people, and on behalf of all members of the legal profession of this country, I want to take this opportunity to once again congratulate you on your achievement and on your success, and wish you all the best in your future endeavors. May God bless you abundantly.
Write myself a simple song, get the whole world to sing along. I'll call it a love song for you. And who knows, I'm liable to take a song from the Bible. And then when I'm through, I'll just sing love lifted me. Love lifted me. When nothing else.
Tulikuwa tunangoja baada tu na imefika siku na witness na nasema shukrani sana kwa Mungu kwa sababu najua kuna mtu akisema as we walk in life it is good to what you keep on reinventing yourself. Ile certificate tulikuta wakati ulizaliwa ilikuwa gani? Oh, bad. Nilikuta bad certificate. Mpaka hapo amefika saa hii nafikiri uko na capacity. That is like inventing and nakuwa mpya kila saa.
Mimi nasema ni asante. Vile mmekuja witness the wheels of the road. Mungu awabariki. Andiko nasema mmoja anapobarikiwa au mwenzako anapobarikiwa, endelea kumwombea, endelea kupanda ngazi nyingine na zako zinakuja. Yaani Mungu anataka tusikuwe na juki. Mungu anapobarikiwa tunafurahia na zetu zinakuja. Baba Ian na mama Ian na watoto wake na marafiki wale wamefika. Mungu awabariki. Mungu ataendelea kuwabariki na yeye. Ya kwanza muendelee kuishi pamoja. Zero ya Isako Sanguma na yeye anajua saka sana. Mnasaidiana mambo, kuambiana mahali unaona kuna shida, mnaleta mambo kwa meza na mnasuluhisha mambo. Kitambo ifike nje pengine imekuwa ngumu, lakini itakuwa ngumu. Mnasuluhisha nyinyi. Kuna wakati huwa naambia mama tunachoka na yeye, sasa ingine tunachoka tambora kwa pasta, mimi namwambia ile ya pasta inakuanga ngumu kwake, anakuleteanga wacha tumalizie hapa kwa meza. Unaona, wewe mnamalizia, msimange mjere penye kukuweka, mnamalizia. Sawa, Mungu awabariki.
Ndio ijaze pale waidia. Sasa hii sio peke yake, ijaze tu ofisi kila mahali. So hiyo ni kazi poa sana unafanya. Na nani rocket you bro, kama hata siku moja mnaweza tu-invite kuja kwa court na hizi video zetu zinasema kuja tuone lakini
ama hiyo hapo
lazima tunafikiria ni kitu ambayo najua is a very good career. I know kuna confidence wengi kitu ambayo unaweza ifanya vizuri. Kama mambo yote ya corruption walikuwa nasema, najua hiyo si wewe. Mtu sikuwa kitu ambayo anafuata sheria.
Sasa tunashukuru Bwana. Nilikuwa nakuambia mama hii ni Moraa alipenda, nikimtetesha sana. Moraa please mahesabu ufanye vizuri. Na pia mama, mimi nataka tu nipate tu grade ya kwenda law school. Ya kwenda kufanya law. Naambia lakini hata kama ni law, bwana jaribu kukupatisha bahati kidogo. Naweza kosa hiyo. Bwana yote kama lawyer akiwa class 6. So nashukuru Bwana kwa maana the Bible says ya kwamba our children will become mighty in the land. Na hiyo ni kitu nimekuwa nikiambia watoto wangu kutoka and we are selling school week. Nilikuwa nauliza Mungu, umesema watoto wako watakuwa mighty, sure is itafanya mtoto wangu akuwe mighty kweli, but si kwa sababu ya Mungu zetu, so by the grace of God. Bwana so nashukuru Bwana nikiona anaendelea kutimiza the desire of my heart. Ile maandiko ninaamini ya kwamba our children will become mighty in the land. It's a blessing wakati mzazi kulea, kusomesha, uone Mungu baada ya kufikisha, pia kukuweka hai, uone hao watoto, kwa sababu unakuta kuna pia wazazi wanakufa mbele yako. Unakuta umesomesha watoto wakati wanafurahia hauko. So maedizani Mungu atuweke miaka mingi baba hia. Tuendaga sherehe za kina kama yuadade. Tuendaga sherehe za kina Delema tukiwa tumezeeka. That's maedizani Mungu atuweke miaka mingi. They are first born pia Mungu atusaidie atuweke miaka mingi. Hata wajukuu wakikuja akina Blaya tukuje pia sherehe zao, si ndio? So naomba Mungu atufikishe somewhere akina Ian mwende mbali. Ndio tuwe tunafurahia tukija sherehe kama hizi. Na tunashukuru Mungu sana, tukiona tuko pamoja, tunatembea pamoja. Mimi desire hiyo uzai kutembea hizo sherehe za kina Delema na wengine wanakuja, tashukuru Mungu sana. Hata Mungu abariki sana kwa sababu ya kuorganize. Pengine siku pia kama tunaweza kuja kazi na dadia kwa comfortable, but kuzali vizuri. Sasa mama, huwa tunasupply watu dola vitu. So kutoka asubuhi ni simu basi tutasikia akikomplain na watu wako sawa. So it's a blessing. Bwana asifiwe. So tunataka kudesire more na Mungu azidi kubariki watoto wetu na pia Mungu nasi pia kubariki. Ili tukiwaombea tuokule hayo matunda isikuliwe na watu wengine kwa. Kama akija kuona show anakuletea kitu ni baraka. Mungu abariki sana.
Nasema asante sana kwa Mwenyezi Mungu. Ya kwanza alileta hizi familia mbili pamoja. Ian Faith, na kusema ukweli kushukuru ukiona familia kutoka mahali walitoka, kutoka wakati wa harusi, vile sasa wanakuwa wazazi pia. but above all, leo pia tunasherehekea kitu kingine. Ni kusema tu asante sana kwa sababu ni saa ingine it's not automatic that two families can come together, be brought together by your children, mkuwe close, and feel as one family. But I think hiyo ni kitu muhimu sana na sasa kusema asante. Na sasa kuwaombea kama wazazi, kuwakumbuka saa yote, ndio waendelee hivyo hivyo. As Mama Mwezi said, let the sky be the goal. Ndio the limit, ndio. Both of you, vile mlianza na vile imeendelea, tuendelee hivyo na kusikuwe na chuki yoyote upande wowote, ndio pia Mungu aweze kutubariki. Bila mahali hakuna chuki, pia utapata Mungu kwako, ndio? Kwa sababu chuki si ya Mungu. Na tukiendelea tukiwa familia moja, tunaombeana, tukiwa pamoja, tunakutana, tunakua pamoja. Hata tukikula kitu kidogo, vile tumekula hii ni blessing kubwa sana. Tukiendelea hivyo, mimi nafikiri tutasherehekea kama familia wakati wowote. Ukiwa na kitu kidogo utapata furaha hivi, na nafikiri nasema tu asante tena, mbarikiwe sana.
Sure, very happy that you go. Some of us are really good. I'm going to come home tonight. Mpaka akaniambia kwa ananipenda. Ndani tukaeat kidogo, tena everything, tukapatana law school. Before tuende law school tulipatana hapa Dar es Salaam. Tukaenda law school pamoja. By the grace of God, that all things come and happen the way they do. So, here has been very good. I'm so overwhelmed already. So proud. And God has blessed in this career. You need the grace of God. Corruption is very tempting. It's very tempting. Yeah, it's true. It is what we see with our physical eyes, but when we ask God to lead us spiritually, I know we will be the leaders of the country. Or hata kazini tumewekwa leadership pamoja. Tuliingia hata tuko majunior, sasa tuko maseniors, tumebaki pamoja. Kila mtu alienda wakati wake hapo, lakini usiniache. Bado ni admit tuende pamoja. Yeah, and I'm happy for you. Very, very happy.
You have raised the bar so high for us to sing such another. And my wish for you is that in whatever you do, you are always happy, you are contented, and you do not compromise your moral power. Congratulations.
I know it's been a journey. We spoke about it briefly the other day, and I'm glad for you. It's true you have set the bar for the rest of us, and I'm glad that you're in this position. God has favored you and graced you, and I know in whatever you choose to practice, God will give you wisdom. So I'm happy for you. Yeah.
I'm glad finally it's over. It's been a journey. It's been a long journey. Ilifika point naulizwa unatumia kiasi gani, naambia msiniulize swali tena, nitawaambia tu when the day comes. And here it is. Thank you for coming. Thank you for the support. For Ian, for doing for me when I was doing those visits, for my parents, for paying for me through the tuition and everything. For my colleagues, they have been with me through it all. For my siblings, nampigia na dia vile nimechoka. But thank you everyone for being there, for holding my hand. Singefanya hivi. I'm so grateful. All thanks to God.